In Florida, DeSantis signed a bill that prohibited China from buying up land in his state. Here in California, Newsom vetoed a bill that would have prevented China from buying land in California. This is a different kind of corruption. And I just don't think people see that. And I'm wondering, I don't know, babe, what do we do about this? Because for me, I'm not here to be conservative. I'm here to fight bad ideas.
Yeah. There's so much to unpack there. It's like, first of all, with the Gavin Newsom thing, you know what's really terrifying about Gavin Newsom? It's not just his bad policies. It's the fact that he doesn't stand for anything.
No.
Because if he were somebody that stands for bad policies consistently and someone that, like, I can at least expect what it is that he's going to support or be against, it's like, okay, bad apple, but I see it coming. With him, he's completely unpredictable. He has no spine and he has no moral compass. It's like when you see him sit down with Charlie Kirk or with Ben Shapiro, it's like he switches his tune up all of a sudden. All of a sudden, he's a little bit more moderate. But then he goes and he sits down with a leftist or a liberal, and then suddenly he's the most progressive person in the room. So the thing that's so scary about Gavin Newsom is the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is he's going to cater to whatever audience he's speaking to or whatever donor class is boosting him up. So that being said, he's already compromised. And if he takes over the White House, I'm terrified to see who he's going to accept a check from behind the scenes and what he's going to allow to happen to our country.
That's exactly how I feel about it. And I just worry, I thought we were absolutely done having this conversation for a little while about the alt-right. Like, you've had some quieting down of the crazy. You've had some backing off of the people that were beating their chest about censorship. I won't be censored. I'm like, well, it's not censorship to say you're against raping women and, you're against racism and you're against anti-Semitism. That's not... But sure, you want to position it that way because you don't want to alienate an audience, be my guest, but let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
The clicks are your compass. And, for you and your bank account, like, I guess bravo. But if we're talking about what's best for the country, when you undermine, the common sense side of the party that you're really going to need to be intact come the midterms in 2028, bad idea.
It's so frustrating. And it's like, the more I sit and I think about that video being posted with the Obamas being portrayed as monkeys, I'm more disappointed than I am mad. I'm disappointed and I'm frustrated because, like you said, it is going to give them the extra fuel on the left to weaponize against us. And as a Black conservative, I've spent an exorbitant amount of time being like, hey, Black people, come over here. We're not racist. We're not accepting. Or we are accepting over here.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it looks like I've been gaslighting them this entire time when they see something like that. It's like, do I think President Trump is racist? I still don't.
Do I
think that he can be, doing too much sometimes? Absolutely. And going to the Chuck Schumer thing, it's like, Black people are sick of being the scapegoat for bad policies. It's like, you have this policy where you are trying to make it to where any person can just show up and vote without an ID. And then you belittle Black people by making it seem like we're too unintelligent to get an ID. And if you're too unintelligent to get an ID, then you're too unintelligent to know who you're voting for and why you're even at the polls. So I really think that you should just sit that one out if that's the struggle that you're dealing with. And again, the Democrats know that. The Democrats don't think that Black people are that dumb. It's just, again, the scapegoat so that they can make it easier for illegal immigrants to vote.
I notice that, minority communities are used as pawns. Same with gays, same with the Black community, and same with the Latino community. But it's very difficult to call that out. Again, when you have racist chats with these young Republicans, and then the guy that's supposed to become the president is like, I don't want to clutch pearls. I'm like, I think you should. Probably should, homie. Clutch some fucking pearls. Now's the time. And when I was interviewing Winsome Earl Sears, who was running for governor of Virginia, lost, which is like, how does that happen, by the way? This is a liberal's dream. A friggin' Jamaican immigrant, woman of color, 2 master's degrees, small business owner, Marine, lieutenant governor. And they voted for the white liberal who worked for the CIA that just proposed raising their income taxes higher than California's and wants to lower the criminal sentence for crimes like rape. Nick Freitas just educated me on that. And she was like, Yeah, no problem. They should absolutely be condemned and they should get out of the party. They're not welcome. Why is that so hard? Do you feel, I feel like you and I know this is, I don't mean to do this and I don't mean to pull you into this, but to a certain extent, I feel like there's a line that needs to be held. And when it comes to racism, people like you, and I mean, people of color, I can't hold it. Otherwise, I'm like a fucking white savior. I can't do that. I can say it's gross and disappointing, but then I become that like white liberal trying to defend my black friends. Like, I can't do that.
It's really annoying that people are so terrified of nuance. It's like, I can be somebody that's like all for freedom of speech, but people do too much. I still remember the day Elon Musk bought Twitter, and I made a tweet and I was like, you guys are going to show why we can't have nice things when it comes to freedom of speech, because within hours, the hard R N-word was trending.
Yeah.
So I do think you have to just dare to be someone with nuance, to be like, look, and you can acknowledge it on the front end, because, people don't like to listen to, the full 60 seconds of what you're saying. They only want to hear the first 15, but you can acknowledge like, hey, I'm not trying to be woke, not to be that woke friend, but this is doing too much.
Yeah.
Because like, even with the young Republicans chat that you were talking about, my
God.
reaction to that in real time was actually crazy, because I was recording myself as I'm reading through it. And at first I was like, I'm the oldest month of Gen Z. So I'm sitting here looking at this, like I was in Modern Warfare 2 group chats. I was like, this has nothing compared to what I grew up seeing. I was like, people are too sensitive. But as I'm going through it more and more, I'm like, okay, this is getting really dark.
Terrible.
And I'm like, this is actually like
sick. It's sick. Actually.
Repulsive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really glad that immediately accountability was taken and these people were kicked out of their positions. But that being said, we do need to do a better job of vetting these people out. If you're somebody that's on the more radical side of things and you're out here like talking about people getting raped and talking about all these racist things on a regular basis, it's like, okay, this isn't dark toilet humor anymore.
No.
Like, you just have something wrong in your brain and you're not who represents the Republican Party that I'm a part of.
All right, guys, if you like this clip and you want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want more content like this, you can subscribe to the show by clicking here.